we created a very basic chat server. So how about we improve it a little bit? Right now, we can run the server, clients can connect, we can identify them with their IDs, and they all receive all the messages. So usually when you chat, you don't really get echoed back your own messages. So let's have a condition here inside the for each to implement that. Basically, if the currently connected socket, which we can identify with socket.id, if that equals to the current socket, which is identified by the key, back to key here, if that condition is true, then the current socket in the loop is the same socket that is sending the data. So we should probably just return here and not write back to the user. So let's test that. So now when the first client types, client 1 and 2 both get the hello message, but client 0 does not get the hello message. Let's try hi in here. Client 0 and client 2 both get the message, but client 1 does not. Perfect. So how about we identify our chatters with names instead of numbers? Maybe we can ask them about their name when they first connect. So instead of this welcome new client message, I'm going to type, please type your name, just like that. And this means that the first data event I'll receive is going to be the name of the client. So I need a condition to identify if a client is just giving me their name for the first message, or is this a data event that's coming from a client who already gave me their name and they're just chatting now. So how about instead of adding every socket to the officially connected sockets, we make that a condition. We only add the socket when we receive the name of the user. So in here, we'll do a condition. We'll say if the socket is not part of the sockets connected, so if not sockets for the socket.id, then this means that we have not registered this socket yet, and this current data message is the name of the user. So we'll go ahead and register this socket now, and we'll store the name of the user, which is basically the data object. And remember that the data object is a buffer because we don't have a global encoding. So we'll do toString on it to convert it into UTF-8. And also we trim it to remove the new line. And in this case, we want to return. We don't want to echo this name back to all connected user because this is just a socket that's just connecting and giving me their name. How about we give the user a welcome message here? So socket.write and say something like welcome socket.name, just like that. So now that we have a name for every socket, we can actually use the name here instead of the ID to identify the socket. Socket.name in here. And I think we can test. Connect 3 clients, and you'll notice how the server is asking for the name. Let's name the first chatter Alice, Bob for the second, Charlie for the third. And you see how the server welcomed the names. So now when Alice types something, Bob and Charlie get the message Alice said hello. Let's try it here. So Bob is saying hi, Charlie is saying hey. So that's a good improvement. How about we also show the timestamp of the message? Because without timestamps, it's not really a chat server. So we can simply display the timestamp here right after the name. So let's make it into a variable. And how about we create a function for the timestamp, just like that. And let's go define this function. So function timestamp is a very simple function that will basically format the current date. So let's do now equal new date. This is to just give me the current date. And let's return a string that has the hours, which is now.getHours, and the minutes, which is now.getMinutes. Very simple. So this would be like HHMM format. This is very simple. If you really want to do an actual time format, you have to handle multiple cases and you have to be aware of time zones and all that. I would recommend a library called Moment if you want to actually work with timestamps, but this is just an example to improve our simple chat server. So let's test that. Alice, Bob, and Charlie. And now we see that Alice said hello at 10:47.